Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show podcast. I am G1, and this is the Godzilla Block Party Impromptu Spoiler Review. Spoiler what? What spoiler what? Planet Eater! Nope, just kidding. Haven't seen that yet. Gotta take a break from that. We ain't there yet. We're not there yet. But this is a spoiler, not review, but a spoiler podcast in regards to certain some things that dropped this week. I believe yesterday, which would be Thursday, the 10th of January, 2019. But before we get into all of that, let me introduce you to my co-host. You know him. He's my right hand when it comes to Godzilla on the G Show. He's the man. The man that, listen, he gives me all the information until I say, don't give me no damn information, because he likes to spoil shit sometimes. My buddy, Chase, G73, Megzy, all three of those things rolled up into one beautiful bow. What's up, my brother? I miss you.
Not much, man. I just had a great trip from San Diego and got to go check out where they filmed the climax for Jurassic Park 2, and got to just hang out for a nice little weekend, all paid and everything, and it was great. I had a great time.
That's still the best Jurassic Park movie.
That's my favorite, yeah.
It really is. I love that movie. Oh, man. All right, well, listen, man. There were some things that popped up this past week. Godzilla Planet Eater dropped, which I didn't get a chance to watch yet, so we're not going to talk about that. We'll do a separate podcast. We'll review that hopefully this weekend. But going in, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all haven't seen, we're going to talk about toys. So there's some spoilerific stuff in these toys that I was trying to avoid. My good buddy Chase here was like, dude, just avoid certain things like the plague. I'm like, cool, definitely, I will. And then, of course, the last place I would think would spoil it. The very last place person. I swear on everything. It was so insane. I'm creeping through my feed this morning, and bam, the very last person I would think to do it puts up these toy pics and spoils everything. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
And she all the time. She's like, I do not want to be spoiled.
Right. So shout out to my queen of the monsters, Miss Lindsay, Final Goji. Shout out to you, my lady. I saw that post at 5 o'clock this morning, and I said, oh, why, Final Goji? Why? But I love you regardless. So, fair warning, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what we're talking about in regards to the toys and don't want to know, shut this off now. I mean, it's okay. We could get like 3 to 5 views on this particular podcast, and I'll be all right with that, because that means that y'all staying away. But if you don't mind spoilers, then hang out with us, because we're going to go into spoiler mode in 3, 2, 1... Okay,
somebody's getting fired.
Somebody's getting fired indeed. Oh my God. All right. You know what, Chase? You take the reins. You tell them what happened. What toy spoiler dropped? Unbelievable, from Jakks Pacific.
So here's the deal. I was on my way home yesterday from San Diego when this happened, and I didn't expect my phone to have service because it said no bars on my service, and I give props to Xfinity Mobile because I had great reception and a place in the Grapevine. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, driving home was when I got this, and you're supposed to have no service there at all, and I did, and I knew I did because I had a message pop up from somebody saying, "Hey, look, did you guys see what was just posted about these toys?" So I was like, I don't want to know. Because I didn't want to know, because I knew, like, they said it was very spoilerific and it had to do with Mothra. So I'm like, okay, well, that's something I don't really care to know, because my big thing is, well, Godzilla. That was all I said.
Right.
Well, I ended up just being like, okay, well, because I have other things on Instagram I check out, and because came back from a concert, and I was going to see what they posted and stuff, see if they posted the pictures from the concert, like they could see me, because I was dead center straight in the stage, and the singer and I locked eyes multiple times. So I was just, browsing around, and right when I got on Instagram, What did I see that made me angry and fearful?
Angerous.
And also tons of speculation shot through my head multiple times. And I saw, ladies and gentlemen, a toy from Jakks Pacific of Mothra and burning Godzilla. Oh. That's right. Godzilla on fire.
I can't believe this at all.
All of our speculations we've done. No nukes, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we don't know. There still may be nukes. It's not Rodan vomiting molten lava on him, which I thought would be dope. It's not Godzilla spitting fire on Rodan and Rodan deflecting it with his wings. It's not anything like that. We do now have confirmation that it is burning Godzilla. And a piece of me is at ease because I've been losing sleep thinking about this for weeks since that trailer dropped. So that part's cool. But I am disappointed because this, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, and Ray, I did not want to get this spoiled for me. This was one of the things I was not going to spoil for myself. And it's like, part of me is like, man, I'm upset with myself. But a part of me is like, well, maybe this is what I get for looking into spoilers. But it totally changes my mind around, like, I may not indulge more into spoilers after this because this was basically the granddaddy spoiler. Unless there's a new spoiler coming out and Mike Doherty basically spills every single bean on what monsters come out. That, like, I mean, I guess a lot of people are arguing that it's not a spoiler because we see it in the trailer. Well,
wrong.
It's a speculative thing. There wasn't a big significant thing saying, hey, this is burning Godzilla. Everybody was coming up with speculation, so I disagree there. But now that we have confirmation, I'm a little bit, I don't know, I'm a little bit disappointed, but however, I'm sure me and Ray I know for I have been coming up with a few theories of what it is, and I'm going to explain those, and I'm sure Ray has his own.
Oh, yeah.
So let's leave it up. So let's go into it.
I'm telling you right now, I don't care what this picture shows. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. Until I see this movie, all this toy signifies is Godzilla's on fire. It's a Jakks Pacific toy, people. It's a Jakks Pacific toy. This isn't an SH Monster art figure with fine details. It is a Jakks Pacific toy that they have to pump out a whole shitload of these at cheap production cost so they can sell these for cheap, these play sets. And don't get me wrong, they're cool. I like it. I really do. But you look at it, it's just they're simple little toys. There's nothing detail-oriented about them, nothing like that. Which brings me to, okay, so, yes, it looks like burning Godzilla. But is it? I don't know. Could be Godzilla on fire. But you can't make fire in a Jakks Pacific toy. So how do you signify he's on fire? You turn him orange.
Well, the one thing I will say to that is that his eyes are also red.
Okay, but even that could just be a nice little detail. And again, this is all speculative. Maybe me being an old, fuddy-duddy.
Of course.
But, I mean, in all honesty, to me, this doesn't automatically prove that it's burning Godzilla. Look at the temple in the picture. It's the temple Godzilla's in, apparently. I believe. The temple Godzilla's in where you see that explosion.
It's the Temple of the Moth.
So you telling me Godzilla's going to be in the Temple of the Moth when that explosion kicks off and then turns Godzilla on fire?
Well, it makes sense. It totally makes sense now. Because it's not there. It's not the temple where Rodan is in.
No, Rodan's in a volcano, right? That definitely.
Yeah. So it's not a volcano. It's not a volcano. I totally see it now. But the thing is we'll go into the reasons why. Because I agree with you. I don't think it's burning Godzilla, but for different reasons. So I'll let you continue.
No, I've got the pictures up here. I'm looking at the box art. I'm looking at the picture of them separate with the Maya, the Temple of the Moth diorama in the background. And again, they're cool toys. Don't get me wrong, they're cool. I wouldn't personally buy these particular toys. I want something a little more articulate. But for what it is, they're cool. You know, this is a nice little Christmas gift you give to your niece or your nephew. You know what I'm saying? That's right, because girls love Godzilla too. Respect the game. But I honestly, I'm looking at the box. There's nothing on this box that signifies this is burning Godzilla. It says Godzilla, King of the Monsters. It says bring the battle to life. It says create your own scene. It says Godzilla and Mothra. Kings Collide Battle Pack. That's all it says. That's all it says. That's it. Nothing like burning Godzilla. You know? Nothing like that. So I'm just, I'm not sold yet. I'm not sold. And don't get me wrong. I could absolutely be 100% wrong. And I probably am. Because at first glance, that's burning Godzilla. But on the flip side, I still stick to my guns and say, to put this in that movie, I don't understand if this is going to be a power in this movie. What do you do with Kong? Because if this is Godzilla at his strongest, then there should be no fight between King Kong and Godzilla. I'm just saying that there should be no movie in 2020. It really shouldn't. It really shouldn't.
You totally hit that one on the nail, because that was also one of my counter arguments for it.
Honestly, and that's what, like, you know, and I get the fandom gets hyped when we see shit like this. I'm hyped. Don't get me wrong. We wouldn't be doing this podcast if I wasn't hyped. This is definitely something to talk about. But come on. I mean, look, if Godzilla went supercharged to defeat King Ghidorah in this movie, I get it. But then what comes next? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Honestly, it really doesn't make sense. Godzilla was getting his ass kicked by 2 Mutos. Getting his ass kicked. Okay? And then he tail swiped one, and then he spit the breath of fire down the other one. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well,
yep.
You're gonna, like, I don't understand the logic behind doing this. And I more to Michael Dougherty, I don't believe he would just do this for fan service. You know? Like, maybe make it look like it for fan service, right? But not exactly be burning Godzilla, because that's a whole nother plot line. That is a completely new plot line. And it just, to me, doesn't make sense in where Legendary is right now. And I'm not trying to compare what Toho was doing, you know? But let's not front. That Toho burning Godzilla was dope. Dope. It looked, I love Godzilla's look in Godzilla vs. Destroyer. It's gorgeous. I loved it. I don't think this is it. I don't think Michael Dougherty would have done that. I think he would have gave you a little wink, wink, nod, nod. But I still think that this is just Godzilla on fire. Again, it's a Jakks Pacific toy. It's not highly detailed. It's a pretty thing to look at, but they're the small scale versions of these things. So yeah, I'm sorry for anybody that who's disappointed in what I'm saying. Please respond down below and yell at me and curse me out and tell me why it is. Tell me Michael Dougherty confirmed it, which I won't believe until my good buddy Chase here tells me that. So, but I mean, that's
he didn't confirm it, but he did share some of the toys on his Twitter.
Yeah, you see, and I'm cool with that. But I mean, like, that's just where I stand. I still don't believe this is,
I'm with you.
Burning Godzilla. I just think this is Godzilla on fire, and if not fire, maybe napalm, maybe volcanic lava. You know, because you got to remember too, Godzilla is full of like these little grooves and these. His skin is just like a weird way. Lava's gonna flow through all that stuff. And when you look at this picture, that's what it looks like. You know? Like, certain spots, I'm not buying it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not buying it. Not just yet. Not just yet. I think it's some kind of a new super weapon. I don't know why they would try to kill Godzilla with it. But I think that's what it was. And again, spoiler, in regards to some of the plot things, Michael Dougherty said the oxygen destroyer is in the movie, and I can only assume that they're going to be making like some kind of these super weapons now to fight these titans, and maybe this is one of them. That's just me though.
So here's my whole thought process on it. For one, I agree. I do not think it is burning Godzilla. I think it is burning Godzilla in the sense of literally, like I've mentioned, Godzilla is on fire. He is burning. But I do not think it is burning Godzilla in the sense that he is at that critical state where he's going to, where his reactor is going to implode in his chest and he dies. For many reasons. For one, I think a lot of the fanboys are jumping the gun and not realizing what that means for Godzilla. Because if it is burning Godzilla, then you pretty much just spoiled the end of Godzilla versus Kong. Godzilla dies. You just spoiled that. And that brings me back to the other thing. The promo art that we saw of Godzilla versus Kong, he's not on fire. But yet, again, that was almost like a grayed out image, so we didn't really see. But there was no indication that he was on fire. He looked completely normal. But also, in the trailer where we see that spot, it doesn't look like it's the climax of the movie. It looks like it's like maybe in the middle of the film. The climax is when Godzilla and King Ghidorah are running at each other.
Oh, yeah, that's the money shot.
And he's not on fire. So that's where I agree with you. I think Godzilla unlocks this as an ability. Because everyone's like, oh, the atomic pulse. What if that's in the film? Or what if this? Or what if Godzilla somehow channels radiation to make his atomic breath hotter?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. My bad.
Well, I just think this is an ability he can use, and it just changes his appearance. Honestly, think about it. Godzilla has had powerful atomic breaths, like when in Final Wars, when he does that, hotter than everything in the universe fire breath, where he destroys a planet. He does stuff like that. So I can see it being an ability Godzilla uses. I don't think that it's Godzilla at his critical mass level. But now, however, maybe it's a thing where Godzilla becomes burning Godzilla at some point, and Serizawa has to do something to save him. And that can lead to a plot, but I don't understand why we would do that.
Dude, you're absolutely right. That's what happens. He gets napalm, he's on fire, and Serizawa has to use the oxygen destroyer to snuff out the flames.
That makes total sense, man. Because if you remember in the temple when he's laying there, he's smoldering.
And Serizawa, he's in that suit.
That hazmat suit, so that definitely can be a possibility.
I'm still not sold on Godzilla burning Godzilla, but go ahead, bro. I love where you're going, but
no, I totally. I've been thinking about all these things. I don't think his Godzilla and here's the thing: if it is burning Godzilla, then maybe they totally just overlook the main factor of what burning Godzilla means for Godzilla. And also, I do not believe Hollywood is going to do that, because Hollywood's in it for the money, believe it or not, folks. They're in it for the money factor. And I do not think, with them in mind making this franchise, I feel like them killing Godzilla off is a fan service thing. And I know how that sounds, because the fans don't want to see Godzilla die. But you can't have Godzilla versus Kong and then Godzilla dies due to some sort of thing in his body. Because then at that point, it becomes a King Kong franchise, with Kong being the victor. So that's why I do not think, whatever this is, regardless of what it looks like, we are totally jumping the gun on it. And it is a leak. It's totally a leak. The guy who did this is probably either fired or getting fired. I think he leaked it because he got fired, whoever leaked it. And I just think all of us as fans are jumping the gun. I don't think it's what we think it is. It may look to appear certain ways, but I don't think it's going to be what we all think it is. I think let's put it this way. It's not going to be something. I refuse to think it's going to be what we think it is, due to the fact that it's not going to kill Godzilla. And so that's why I don't think it's burning Godzilla.
Okay,
So
here's my counter to what you're saying. This is not Toho. You understand? This is
exactly.
I never for one instant, I'm not even talking about this image or burning Godzilla image, none of that. I never for not one instant thought that anything Toho's Godzilla, any incarnation of Toho's Godzilla has done, will ever impact what Legendary's doing. So when you say something like the super spiral breath that blew up the asteroid in Final Wars, or burning Godzilla's overcharged beam, none of that stuff matters in this universe because it's not there. So I never go about thinking along those lines as far as Godzilla and abilities go. The only thing I would say could be plausible as a Godzilla ability is the pulse. I love the pulse. That is, I've said this before, that is such a genius maneuver, and kudos to Toho on that. That would be the only thing I can see, not just Michael Dougherty, but Legendary in its own using as far as another weapon for Godzilla, right? And even then, I'm still kind of on the fence because I like the atomic breath. I like this real monstrous feral not feral, but this more fighter, scrappy Godzilla. You know what I mean? He's a fighter. So I never think about that. So when in terms of people thinking about, well, if it's burning Godzilla, then you automatically associate that with Meltdown. Nah, I would never do that in this franchise, in this particular franchise. I would never associate those two together and even if it is burning Godzilla, right? I would never associate that with Meltdown because that is a completely different thing. That was a bookend to, G54 to G85, and then from there on to 1995, you know what I mean? Or 96, whenever you decide Godzilla vs. Destroyer came out. You know what I mean? That was a bookend. That was a saga told. This isn't a saga told and then, oh God, he's burning Godzilla, he's going to melt down. Never. I would never believe that. So I don't think he would, if that was the case, he would die in Godzilla vs. Kong at all. There would be I don't think along those lines at all because it doesn't make any damn sense to the public outside of our fan base. It's just like, really? All right. Wow. Okay. It's just weird, Hollywood doesn't do things like that anymore at all. And I think the people in charge of Legendary is a very fandom-esque film company. Like they do for the people. They really do. Now I get the gripes with Gareth Edwards' Godzilla movie. Not enough Godzilla. Okay, whatever. That's fine, right? But Legendary made a Godzilla movie that resembled God. They made a Godzilla that resembled Godzilla, that had Godzilla traits, all that stuff. Where TriStar didn't do that in 1998. They just made a movie and said, "Well, no, giant dinosaurs, that's not real. Let's make it a giant iguana." Stupid, right? Legendary fixed that. It seems like they're on the right track with this in King of the Monsters, and then we shall see what comes be with Godzilla vs. Kong. But as far as if it is burning Godzilla, I don't incorporate Meltdown at all in this franchise. I don't think along those lines because it would take away from what Meltdown meant in Godzilla vs. Destroyer. And if it's Michael Dougherty, who's self-proclaiming he's a fan, and I'm telling you, we've seen some of the stuff he's put out, and we're like, you know what? Yeah, that dude knows what he's talking about. Like, the dude's a fan. He's one of us. He would not sell you that. I do not think he would sell you that, and I do not think Legendary would sell you that. Those who may know or in the know of the franchise, I don't think they would be like, hey, we should just do it. Fuck it. I don't think that's the type of company they are. If it was another company, maybe. But I don't think Legendary's that type of company, and especially because you're going to get Godzilla. They got Godzilla. We have not seen Godzilla and King Kong on screen together since the 60s, dude. You know what I'm saying? So, that's not something you throw away. It's not.
So, the question I have for you is, let's say, so what do you think it is? Let's say it's not Godzilla just walking around on fire like he was just engulfed. let's say it is like something that's going on with him, but it's not like it's not going to initiate him melting down. What do you think it would be then?
See, and that's just it. Because, like you nailed it. You said a new ability. I don't like this idea. I really don't. And I'm not your idea. I just don't like the idea in general. Like, this is something that I personally am struggling with. And I don't mean like, but like I'm wrestling with this idea that Godzilla's gonna get a new ability and he's gonna glow orange and then spit this mega orange spiral beam. And yes, it will look fucking awesome. But then what do you do to Kong? That is the wall blocking. King Kong is the wall that is blocking me from seeing this being burning Godzilla and using this ultra hyper ability. That's why, because again, and that's why I always said, that's why I still stick to this. That's why I say King Ghidorah will not die in this movie. They're going to team up to fight King Ghidorah. 3 kings going at it.
Can I also say one thing too? I know this is going to piss a lot of Godzilla fans off. If you have Godzilla permanently looking like that in Godzilla versus Kong, if it is burning Godzilla, this is why I also don't think it is. You know how many general audience members are going to be like, he looks stupid? I really see that being a thing. Well, and that's why I don't think he's going to be like that, because it is going to deter general audiences away.
See, here's one of my things. Like, this is something Godzilla's never really done is deploy in every movie some new ability. It's never happened. The Pulse was the first new ability. Well, let me rephrase that. Godzilla flying and Godzilla versus the Spout Monster was like the first ability thing, right? And I get a kick out of that every time I see it. I really do.
Him talking was in.
And that came afterwards, right? When Gigan.
Yeah, that came afterwards. That was a few years later.
then the floating kangaroo kick, right? Like defying gravity. There's Godzilla, right? So let's see. So Godzilla flies, right? Then he talks. Then he defies gravity. Then he magnetizes. In Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, right? Then he magnetizes. Then we don't see a new ability from Godzilla until Biollante, where he does the Pulse. And then the Pulse becomes a staple. But they got rid of the goofy shit for the Heisei series, right? They got rid of all that fun stuff. Godzilla's not flying anywhere. But the Pulse, right? The Pulse...
He's not as kid-friendly.
Right. The Pulse was very mainstay. In every single one of those movies, Godzilla pulsed. In every single Heisei movie. From Biollante to Destroyer, Godzilla did a nuclear pulse.
Does he? Does he really?
Yeah, he does. In every single one.
Man, I don't. What did he do in Mechagodzilla? When did he?
He sent it back. The charge back into his the Mega Buster.
Yeah.
In the first battle.
Space Godzilla.
Space Godzilla. He pulsed when he hits the tower. When he hits the tower, he pulses. Watch that again. Yeah. Because you even see his...
I must have just not have noticed that because it became such a repetitive thing with Godzilla. I just didn't notice.
Yeah, it's there. You'll see it. When he hits the tower, he pulses. But you don't see the circle. You don't see the pulse. But his mouth does the light and the spines light up. And when he hits the thing, the sparks fly from the tower. But it's there. But my thing, this is what I was trying to get to, is Godzilla only had the Pulse in the Heisei series, right?
Yeah.
During the Heisei series, Gamera made, it had a renaissance. That Gamera trilogy, and I recently just watched this, I think in October or November, and I still to this day is fantastic shit. In each one of those movies, Gamera had a superpower. He gained a new ability, right? I don't want to see this Godzilla do that. It doesn't make any damn sense. Because any way you cut it, the Japanese kaiju movies, it's more tokukatsu. How do you say that word? You know what I'm talking about, right? It's like superhero stuff. Yeah, it's more for that audience. And I'm not saying that because we enjoy it. That's why we're talking about this or having this podcast. We enjoy it, but it's more fantastical in their elements. This Godzilla seems more grounded. Everything they're doing, this universe they set up with 2014 and Kong Skull Island seems grounded. Everything is grounded. So, like, this is if this is burning Godzilla and it's a new ability for me, it's like akin to Gamera gathering the mana from around the world to destroy Legion. And I just don't buy that. I just don't buy that. But again, I could be 100% wrong. I'm probably wrong. But as of right now, until I'm proven wrong, I'm sticking to my guns.
And I hope that when we get proven wrong or right, it's in May.
Oh,
because yeah. I do not... I really hope that these spoilers don't keep coming out. And I know they are, because I know there are people out there that want to hate the world. But it makes me kind of upset, because there are certain things I choose to spoil myself with. And that certainly was the one thing I did not want to get spoiled.
Right. It's hard, man. It's a rough situation. But again, if it is a new ability, okay, but I just don't. If it's a new ability, then why wouldn't he use it on Kong? Because in all honesty, if he would, because here's the deal: you look at 2014 and you look at the atomic breath, right?
Yeah.
The first one, when he first lets it go and hits the Muto in the side and all that stuff, it just kind of like knocks the Muto down, knocks her out, right? Something to that effect, right?
Yeah, it kind of tears his throat up a little bit, the female Muto.
Does it? I gotta watch that again. It's so dark, that movie.
The neck's all smoldering and everything like that. Right,
so then when Godzilla spits it down its throat again, I guess because it's, a lot more soft tissue in there, a lot more sensitive, it just rips its head off. That's an amazing moment, right? But who's to say Godzilla can't get King Ghidorah down on its back and grab one of its heads and do the same thing? Who's to say that? Now, if this is a new ability, and if this is like the spiral beam, you know what I mean? That punctures a hole through King Ghidorah, then what the hell does Kong bring to the table? And that's where I'm staying. That's my stance on this. Because everybody's just thinking about the now and see, I told you so. No, you didn't tell me nothing. You didn't tell me nothing. See, if Godzilla versus Kong was never announced, then I'd be like, oh shit, this is crazy. But because we know we're getting Godzilla versus Kong, because we've seen that they already filming in certain locations, we know this is happening. I'm sorry, man. When Gamera used... See, it made sense when Gamera used the mana, and then there was, I guess, no more mana to destroy Iris, right? So Gamera blows off its own arm, and then absorbs the plasma that Iris was spitting back at him into a firearm, and then punches a hole through Iris, destroying it. Fantastic. Godzilla's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So if
Godzilla would be like, nah, fuck that. There's another way.
that's my point. So Godzilla has the fire breath. If it becomes a supercharged beam to destroy King Ghidorah, then he should be able to use it in Godzilla vs. Kong. That movie's going to start, and it's going to be Godzilla vs. Bambi all over again. That's my point.
And even if it's a movie where it's not Godzilla and Kong, fighting for, the throne, even then, it's kind of like Kong doesn't have an advantage here.
And that's my point.
And I was saying that too. There's no way Kong has a chance. And even though if it being a team up movie, it's kind of like Kong's just there for support. He's robbing the Batman.
No, well, that's why every time I think about this trilogy, it's not even a trilogy. Can't call it a trilogy. Every time I think of this franchise, this universe, that's why I see King Ghidorah still alive, because you see in the trailer, you see how agile those necks are. King Ghidorah is going to be fearsome. Godzilla is not as agile as that, but Kong is. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh shit, you kidding me? I would love to see Kong grab one head, knock the other one away. Kind of like Peter Jackson's Kong and stuff.
with what Mike Doherty has been saying, with him having lunch with all of these people, with Jordan Roberts and Adam Wingard joining him
and
a
Gareth
couple
Edwards.
of times, I definitely think you're on that. Like, I think they swap notes because they're filming Godzilla versus Kong right now.
Exactly.
So,
see, Gareth Edwards didn't have this. He didn't have this. That movie is 5 years old. That movie's 5 years old this year. You kidding me?
it's a that's almost a part of my age. That is part of my age.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's been a long time. Gareth Edwards didn't have this type of think tank or, these lunches he can just bounce ideas off of. Oh, what if we do this to set up that in the next movie? He didn't have none of that. But he's there now. He's involved. He's talking with them. He's having a good time. He's not going to direct another movie unless they do. And I swear to God, I would go crazy. Unless they do leave King Kong versus Godzilla open-ended. And the next installment from Gareth Edwards is Destroy All Monsters.
Yeah. Where we only see monsters every time someone opens their phone and looks at the news.
That's... No, listen, man, listen. You get Gareth Edwards, right? And you get him to add the war scenes from Star Wars Rogue One, right? Like the way he directed that, which I fucking love. And then you give it, you add it to Godzilla. Because that's what we haven't seen yet, if you think about it. We have not seen the military versus the monsters yet.
That makes an excellent point.
Right? So I can't wait to see that.
I want it to be like when in the final scene from King Kong Lives type of battle.
Oh my God, dude, you kidding me or what?
You know how epic that would be with like Godzilla and shit?
I love that. I can't. We're gonna get some of that though. I mean, think about it. We see Rodan being chased by the jets.
I know, and I'm so excited. But you make an excellent point, because here's the other thing too. If it is burning Godzilla and it is following the tradition, that kind of opens them. It kind of totally, completely seals off. Let's just say there's like a slight chance Toho's told him maybe a couple months ago, maybe in a couple of years when we can let you guys do more movies or something like that. Because I mean, that's besides the point. I was just gonna say, like, I don't see Toho being like, never again Hollywood, with pretty much Hollywood saving their asses. I think if they did that with Godzilla burning and it symbolizing what it should symbolize, it totally cuts that tie of like, that's the end of Godzilla. And I don't think Hollywood's going to do that. I think they're going to end it, but they're going to leave it open for the possibility of them being able to return someday.
I tell you this, I honestly believe that we will not see Godzilla's demise in any of these movies. I believe we will not see Kong's demise in any of these movies. If anything is going to die, I hate to say it, it's going to be Mothra, because she has a tendency to die in all of these movies. Rodan, as much as I don't want to see it, will possibly get axed off, because I think Rodan, honestly, is the cannon fodder of Godzilla King of the Monsters. As much as that pains me, I do.
I think Mothra is.
See, but I mean, that's obvious. That's why I'm going against that grain. Because as fans, we know she's always dying. So I think that's obvious. But I think Rodan's never died.
But see, now that you mention that, I think Mike is going to change it up, and she's not going to be cannon fodder. I actually on board with you now. I think Rodan is the cannon fodder.
Yeah, I think because I think King Ghidorah is going to rip Rodan to shreds. And I'm going to be mad when that happens. Like, I really am.
When she sacrifices herself to save Madison Russell.
Oh, my God.
Get ready for the tears. Probably Ray's just going to be like, because you did that when Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
But I'm telling you, man, I honestly don't think they're going to kill off Godzilla in this franchise. I think this is going to end on a happy note for everybody. Because they set up Godzilla in the first one to be the savior of humanity, or the king of the monsters. Remember that? That's what the tagline in the newsfeed said: "Savior of humanity, king of the monsters." Right?
Yeah, but it was like savior of our city.
Oh yeah, savior of your city, king of the monsters. I love that. So,
but another thing to add to that too is, like, believe it or not, everybody, this Godzilla is set up to please children. It is. It's set up to please fans, but it's an oriented film for children. I mean, just look at the Jakks Pacific toys. Yeah, those are totally kids' toys.
But they did the same thing with 2014. They had the same things. I remember the first time we saw the Muto was
that's what I'm saying though. It's a thing it's a thing trying to like get kids' attention, and I don't think they would kill off a monster like that, like Godzilla, if it's like supposed to be basically a hero for kids.
Well, I don't think they would kill Godzilla off just because of name recognition. Think about
it. That too. But I was kind of trying to be a little bit more like, think of the children, man.
I get it. And then we don't know what Toho has in store, and that's another thing. That's a thing that has me super excited. It's like, what's coming down the pipe from Toho? You know, like, I'm so happy for that.
No more anime, please,
and no more Shin Godzilla. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. We, at the 41-minute mark, we made our first Shin Godzilla reference.
Happy new record.
Oh, my God.
Get the champagne.
Oh, my God. This year, my New Year's resolution is not to shit on Shit Godzilla too hard.
You already broke that.
Yeah, I broke that. I'm gonna watch it this year. I'm gonna watch it again. I'll give that movie a one viewing per year watch. Whereas I'll watch 1954 and pretty much all the Showa movies that I have, Godzilla 85, and then you know what? Yeah, no, that one I watch once a year. All the others I'll probably watch 3 times during the year because I do that. I love to have a lazy Sunday and just watch Godzilla movies. I love to do that.
Yeah, man, it's been raining up here like crazy. I popped in Kong Skull Island. I popped in Jurassic Park. I popped in 2014. I've just been chilling, man. It's cool to do that. I agree.
Hell yeah. But yeah. So anyway, do
we want to talk about some of the other toys though?
But there's really nothing to talk about.
Quick. Well, like how the Godzilla versus King Ghidorah one has the Fenway Park background, and I just totally realized that I bet they're gonna fight in the middle of Fenway.
No, it looks like Ghidorah actually destroys Fenway Park in the first trailer. So I don't know if they're gonna be in the middle of Fenway, but how cool would that be? Because if there's one Godzilla sequence in all Godzilla movies that I absolutely love, is in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 93. When Godzilla walks through the baseball field. Oh, I love that shot. So I love it. That's why it's my favorite of the Hesai movies. I love it.
And I will say, though, I know what you're saying with that part in the trailer, but I think they are 2 split scenes because when you see King Ghidorah land down on Fenway and it cuts to the full body shot, there is that helicopter plane and there's snow underneath it.
Okay.
So I think they kind of like made it look that way, and they're totally different scenes.
Real quick,
because then right after you see Godzilla and him squaring off in the middle of the Arctic.
Yeah, that's true. Is it the Arctic?
Yeah, it's Antarctica.
So I'm going to tell you this. This is what's going to happen. This is exactly what's going to happen. King Ghidorah is actually going to be in that movie more than we think it is. More than we think it is. Godzilla is going to come up against King Ghidorah. This is the middle act. Okay? And then, because of the Hollow Earth theory, because you look at that Monarch Sciences website, you know when Godzilla goes offline and they can't find Godzilla, and the next thing you know, he pops up around the world?
Yeah.
That's the Hollow Earth. That's established in Kong Skull Island, which is a part of this universe, which is Godzilla is going to fight King Ghidorah, get his ass handed to him, okay? fall down into wherever he's going to fall down, find his way to the temple, where they're going to nuke him to revive him. That's why he's on fire. I'm telling you right now, mark my words, 45 minutes in.
Destroy him.
We'll nuke him first, and then say, oh shit, he's on fire! Use the oxygen destroyer. I'm telling you.
So he's totally, they're totally doing the Gamera thing, where Gamera gets his ass kicked, then gets stronger, and then kicks ass.
It's happened in Godzilla movies before.
Of course. Like Space Godzilla. It's happened quite a few times.
Yep. So I mean, we've seen it happen. The very first Mechagodzilla movie, Godzilla got his ass handed to him. He went back home and licked his wounds. Then came back and was like, "Let's go." You know, so we've seen this happen. It's
when he absorbs the electricity. The lighting.
Exactly. That's still one of the
then
most.
Becomes a magnet.
That's still one of the darkest scenes. I'll never forget that scene when after the explosion that rocked Mechagodzilla and Godzilla falls in the water and the blood comes up. Oh my god! Yeah. As a kid, I was like, "What's going on?" It was insane. But that was the first time you actually
out of Home Depot. Just like, surprise!
No,
I always thought it was Home Depot as a kid. I laughed.
He does pop out. That's right. He does pop out of the damn building. That's funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, think about it.
Yeah.
That's the first time you actually see Godzilla licking his wounds. Like, he was hurt. And they did that beautifully, man. I love that. And I think that's what we're going to get here. Godzilla's going to get his butt kicked. He's going to go underground, literally,
and if you think
and come back.
If you think about it too, like it's kind of like expected for them to do it that way because there's an emotional substance to it. With you're seeing if you get embedded in seeing Godzilla and you see him get hurt, the audience is going to be like, "Oh no!" They're going to have that reaction. So it's kind of like expected,
Right. And if you think about it like this, that's like the middle act, right?
Exactly.
Our hero is Godzilla, but think about like what Monarch is trying to do, and now we have that rogue agency too. We don't know what they play, how they play into this. So you have Monarch, championing Godzilla. You in the trailer, Serizawa was talking about it. No, we're his pets. Are you kidding me? Right? So in that regard, they're like, all right, there's nothing we can do for Godzilla. We can't really, but he hasn't messed with us. So we just let him do his thing, right? Whatever the case may be, you get sympathetic. We don't know how much Millie Bobby Brown factors into this. You know what I mean? Remember before we saw any pitches or anything in regards to Godzilla, the first couple of things, and I don't remember if it's true or not, but remember they were saying like how she's like an activist for the monsters. Like, no, like, giant monster lives matter too, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know, but maybe she's one of those, like you said, something that gets the audience invested in loving and caring about Godzilla. That's what the first movie did well too. It was like, I'm telling you, that's why I love that movie so much, because I thought that movie was going to be Godzilla destroying things. Then we got confirmation of different monsters, and I was like, all right, but Godzilla's just going to be like this force of nature type thing, kind of like the SI series. And no, that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. He was Showa Godzilla. He was hero Godzilla. He was the Godzilla I fell in love with as a kid because Godzilla came to save the day and then went back home. That's what I fell in love. That's why I love that 2014 movie. If they can amplify that in the beginning of this, right? At the beginning of this one, so when Godzilla does come up against King Ghidorah and gets his butt whipped, that's exactly, like, you nailed it. Like, then the audience has sympathy for Godzilla.
And for Godzilla versus Kong, I mean, we already have sympathy for Kong and Godzilla and Kong Skull Island. And if you have sympathy for Kong and Godzilla, once Godzilla versus Kong comes, it's going to be like the hardest decision people have to make, Team Kong or Team Godzilla. And I think Hollywood's playing into that like putty,
I'm telling you, I still think there's going to be a subtitle to that movie. I'm not lying. It's going to be called Godzilla versus Kong, but it's going to be something else. It could very well be Destroy All Monsters.
Oh, totally.
And I ain't mad at that.
I still think Godzilla versus Kong's not going to be Godzilla versus Kong at all. I think it's going to be titled something completely different.
You know what?
Like,
I agree with you. I agree with that.
I could see it being even called just Godzilla 3 Destroy All Monsters or something.
Kong's got to be in there some way. I agree with you. I hope it's not like Batman v Superman, you know? Like,
or just like Godzilla and Kong.
Right, Godzilla / Kong, Destroy All Monsters. Something like that. I'll be down for that. That's not bad. I'm down for that.
Or they just be like Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters with special guest Kong. Featuring Kong, and it's like a song.
Or Godzilla. It's going to be like Godzilla Skull Island. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, that would be so dope. Godzilla Skull Island. Or like Godzilla Kong, Battle for Monster Island or something like that. That'd be cool.
Right? Well, all I'm saying is it's just fun speculating titles now. That's crazy. I can't wait, man. Look, we it's 5 months away. It's 5 months away. Oh my God.
5 months away, and we got the biggest, probably the biggest spoiler ever.
Maybe. We're not so sure about it. I'm telling you, I'm still on a...
Yeah, they're going to show next, like, how King Ghidorah gets his ass kicked or something like that.
Think about it. In the first Godzilla movie, right? They never showed the Muto... The Muto fled from Godzilla. Godzilla followed the Muto into the water in the Hawaiian battle, right? We saw it on the news.
Yeah.
So Godzilla didn't get beat up. The Muto was scared, ran away. And then when they were in San Francisco, they were getting the upper hand, but Godzilla wasn't playing. You know what I mean? But those were generic monsters made for that movie. We never heard of the Mutos. They were called Mutos. The male and the female. They never gave them names. At least I don't remember if they did or not. But,
no, they didn't.
Right? But
the fans gave them names, but...
I don't buy into none of that. But here we're talking about established creatures. Established. And Godzilla's greatest foe of all time. So yes, King Ghidorah will whip Godzilla's ass. Godzilla is going to go underground, and then he's going to get a nuke dropped on him, turn into flames. I would love the whole oxygen destroyer thing coming into play just to take the flames away. That would be funny. I doubt that'll happen, but if it does happen, Chase, if it does, you heard it here first.
I definitely see it happening, though. Now that mentioning that, like, no, that totally, I see that because it's the only thing that makes sense now. Seeing that explosion in the temple, like, why would you nuke Godzilla if he was already on fire?
Right.
He's already smoldering, so what's the point?
Right.
So I think you're right.
I'll tell you, man, there's a book, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Back in the day when 1998 was coming out, Random House started releasing the Godzilla books. They had Godzilla Returns, Godzilla 2000, At World's End, and versus the Robot Monsters, right? And then I really hoped I prayed Lost Continent would come out, and it never did. But I got all those books. In Godzilla 2000, there's a scene that I absolutely loved, and I said I always wanted to see this done on the screen. And I think that we're getting it now. And that's when Godzilla shows up, I forgot where, in the bay off the Pacific of off the California coast, and the military drops napalm on Godzilla. They drop napalm on Godzilla, and I thought I like reading it. I could see it in my head. I'm like, oh my God, how awesome would that be? And mind you, at this time, no, I'm lying. At this time, yep. At this time, I already seen all the movies I needed to see. I seen I've seen Destroyer and all that shit, right? But I'm here and I'm like, I'm reading this book and I'm like, wow, how awesome would this be to see Godzilla on fire like that, right? And I think that's what we're getting here. I think I'm going to finally get to see that.
All right. So you think... All right. I'm like imagining that too. So that's why I'm kind of stuck with what I'm saying. But okay. I mean... I
don't think it's going to be napalm, right? I don't think... All I'm saying is, when I saw that picture, that shot in the trailer where Godzilla is on fire, that's what I was thinking of. Like, they nuked him. They did something to him. But he's on fire. He's burning up. He's on fire. But I don't think that's coming from inside. I don't think that's an internal thing. That's definitely on the outside.
Maybe it's one of the weapons like the conspiracy agency uses on him.
That's what
and it's like slowly killing him or something. Like maybe that's why he looks the way it is. And it's like basically maybe they're trying to like they look at the anatomy of Godzilla and they're like, maybe we can make him die this way. What if I was like, that's the only way we can kill Godzilla? And that's where Serizawa comes in and tries to save him.
Well, any way you look at it, we'll find out in 5 months, unless somebody drops spoilers sooner than later. But hey, at this point, all I know is anything is possible. I still believe it's just Godzilla on fire, but the toys look like a burning Godzilla. Burning means anything. You could be on fire, you're burning. I'm just saying. These are Jakks Pacific toys. They're not fully detailed. So I'm not going crazy just yet until more is brought to the forefront. And even then, I don't even want to know. I just want to go see this damn movie.
I know. Now I'm like worried. Like the next spoiler is going to be them confirming the toy for Anguirus or something.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, I am not. Anguirus is in this movie. Anguirus is the 4th Toho Kaiju, the surprise one. I'm telling you right now, it's definitely Anguirus, and that's the mountain movement. I called it from the jump, and I'm sticking to those damn guns. That more than Burning Godzilla. Burning Godzilla happens, I'd be like, all right, whatever. If Anguirus don't happen, I'd be like, come on, man, that's a bullshit missed opportunity. Besides, Anguirus has one of the best roars in Godzilla franchise, bro. Come on. You gotta get him in
there. It's definitely gonna be Anguirus than some kaiju Mike Doherty made.
Right.
I definitely agree with you.
Which I love. I love that. And I like the idea of each director getting to create their own monster. I love that. So, yes, Mike Doherty playing with the toys, right? Like playing with the toys. And I don't mean that in a literal sense, but playing with these toys, these figures, these monsters, and just making his own battles and having his own fun. That's amazing. And then creating his own thing to, jump in the mix. So good. Gareth Edwards did it. Jordan Vogt-Roberts did it. It seems Michael Dougherty's doing it. And then Adam Wingard, I'm pretty sure he's going to create something of his own. So here's the 2019. Listen, all I'm saying is we go see this movie and the fucking first trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong drops. Come on, man.
Yeah, that'd be perfect time to do it.
Man. And if not that, they do it like they did at the end of Captain America, the first Avenger. They showed the trailer for Avengers at the end of that movie. When the that's how they do it. That's how they do it. But, all right, brother, listen, man. Let's wrap this one up. Jakks Pacifics, you ruined it. I hope whoever did it got fired.
Yeah, I do too, because I don't want to wake up tomorrow and then there be Jakks Pacific Anguirus on my Instagram.
Well, let's hope not. And if that is the case, dude, I'm telling you right now, listen, just send me a message and say, hey, delete everybody. And that's I'm like just cutting everyone off.
No, but see, and that's the thing. I tried to. I felt so bad when I saw that message, because I tried so hard to protect you.
I know.
My friend Ray, not wanting to be spoiled. I was like, if I can't save myself, at least can I save someone?
You see? That's why, ladies and gentlemen, I love this guy, Ray. I love you, bro. Oh, I love you. Look at that. He tried to save me. He gave me a head. No, you know what? Before we go, let me just real quick recap. I'm going to read you the message thread from yesterday. Me and Chase. So last night, Thursday at 7:31 p.m., right? January 10th. This is my good buddy Chase. Stay away from everything now. So then I reply, and that's very okay, something's going on. So I reply, like the anime stuff or Screen Rants where they reference Goramu Island, because I've been calling Anguirus since trailer 2. That's what I said. And Chase writes, no, the toys. And then I write, the toys showed off new Titans? And then he writes, no, but they definitely showed something you wouldn't want to see. And I write, okay, I'm guessing Burning Godzilla is a thing. So I called Like, I called it. I didn't even know, but I called it, right? And then you were like, want me to say it? And I was like, no, but that's what I'm guessing. I don't follow the toys at all, so I would not have known unless a page I follow would have put it out. And then you talk about Instagram, how Instagram's spoiled. And I was like, good, because honestly, on Instagram, I don't follow Godzilla stuff that would do that, which was great. But then, like I said, I was on Facebook this morning, and my favorite female Goji person of all time, Lindsay, thank you. Thank you very much. But if it wasn't for that post, we wouldn't be having this podcast. So I do, honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
True. The spoilers bring us together, don't they?
They sure do. So I love you on that one, Final Goji. Mwah. And on that note, Chase, bro, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining me. Had a great time talking this spoilerific podcast.
Join us again soon for Godzilla Planet Eater review.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe this weekend. This is going up Saturday.
Whenever.
Yeah, this one will be up Saturday because it's going to be 6 o'clock. It's Friday night, and I've got things I got to take care of. But definitely tomorrow, this will be up. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of G73, I am G1. This is the G Show. Thanks for watching. Peace.